Hi, this is Darius with D&K Audio and Tech Solutions and Tech Lab Studios. And we're going to take a look in Evmux and show you how you can build some automation within your production. And namely, what we're going to look at is a way that you can start with an introduction screen, have that show for a period of time, switch to a disclaimer scene if you want to have something like that in your production, have that show for a preset amount of time, and then switch into your actual live production. So over here, we have a simple studio set up, and we have three scenes. We have the first one, which is intro, the second one, which is disclaimer, and then the third screen is program. For the sake of this demonstration, I just have a motion graphic showing on programs, but this is where you would normally put your live camera feed. So what we're going to do right now is go ahead and build out these first two scenes so that they can show, and then auto switch to the next scene as we need them to. So we're going to go here to our introduction screen, and you see we have nothing on there right now. So what we're going to do is come over to add new layer while we have the scene selected. And then we want to come down to media files. Okay, once you get into media files, you do have a search feature, and you also have the ability to filter to show whatever specific media type you want to show. So for this instance, we want to just look at video file. So I'm going to uncheck images and audio. And so that leaves me with the video files. And I see I have a video here for an introduction for my business. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and bring that on to the scene. I'm going to go ahead and bring the volume down on that. So we have our first element in here. We have our introduction scene. We have our introduction video that's playing. So where we're able to bring the automation piece into this is by coming up to settings, and by default the video is set to loop so that once it's finished playing it will play again. So we see that video just ended and it started up again. We're going to uncheck this option for looping, and that allows us to get into the auto switch area. So we're going to click on auto switch, and we're going to tell it to auto switch to the disclaimer scene. Okay, so what's going to happen is that it's going to play through one time of this video, and then it will auto switch over to the disclaimer scene. Okay, so let's hop down to the disclaimer scene and build that out. So again, the first thing we want to do is go to add new layer. And then we're going to go to media files. And this time I'm going to use my filter, and I'm just going to look at images. Okay. And so what I'm basically going to do right now is go ahead and set up a background image. So I'm just scrolling down through my images. I'm just going to pick this one right here. Okay, so we have an image in the background. Then the next thing I'm going to do is bring in my actual graphic for my disclaimer. So I'm going to again say add new layer. And then I'm going to say media files. And I see that I have my disclaimer right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click it and bring it on top of the screen. And this is just a disclaimer that says, attention, important announcement. Watching these videos may be very educational and could result in you gaining a better knowledge of live streaming. Watch at your own risk. Okay, so we have a background and we have an image. Keep in mind that these are both just static images and they have nothing tied to them that can help us control our auto switching. So to do that, we need to add a timer element to this. So I'm going to go again to add new layer, media files. And this time I'm going to filter just for videos. Okay, keep in mind within Evmux, your timers are really just videos, like any other video that you would add to a scene. So I filtered it down to videos, and I'm actually going to come into the search and just type TIM to shrink that list down to just timers. And I do see I have a 10-second timer here. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and that's going to add that to my scene. Okay. We see that whenever we add a new element, it's going to put it on top of everything else. But we don't want this to be seen. So what we're going to do is bring our mouse over to that element, left click and hold, and drag it down to the bottom of the list. So that puts it on a lower level under everything else. And we look here, and we see it's behind everything. I can see a little bit of it here, and I can easily correct that by coming to my background layer and click on maximize. So I made that the full width of the canvas. So now we can see our disclaimer, we can see the background, but we can't see the timer. Okay, to be able to have that automation take place and switch to our program scene, we want to click on the timer element, come up to settings, and again, it's automatically set to loop. We want to turn that off. And then we want to click on auto switch and tell it to auto switch to program. Okay. So really that is everything that we need to have in place. So to be able to actually see this in action, we are going to have to, you would either have to go live, or if you don't have a destination to stream to, pick the button would say record. And by doing either one of those actions, you can actually see everything work as expected. Okay. So I have this set to privately go to my site. So I'm going to go ahead and click go live. The first thing that we're going to be presented with is our starting screen, our starting scene. I have mine set to intro. If I wanted to change that, I can come in and see a list of all of the scenes that I have available to me, choose whatever would be the appropriate scene, and I can go from there. So I'm going to click on intro again to confirm that that's what I want. Then I'm going to click go live, and then I'm going to click on start. Now, since I'm on another scene, it wants to confirm whether I want to start with, in this case, the disclaimer scene, or if I want to start with the intro scene that I have selected. I'm going to click the intro scene and click go live, and it's going to go through its processing, and then it's going to start playing my intro video. So it's going to go through one turn of this video, and once it's finished, it's going to switch over to the disclaimer scene. So our video is getting ready to finish up now. That's the last part of it. Now it's going to switch over to the disclaimer scene. So it's going to show that disclaimer scene for 10 seconds because that's the length of the timer video that we have associated in the background. And now it's switched over to our program scene. So again, I'm showing a motion graphic, but in your case, you would probably have it switch over to your live camera feed. So this is one way that you can really automate the way that you start your streaming program. Another thing that you can use, let's say, for example, in the middle of your program, if you want to show a video, you can have another scene set up that has that video, and you can either set it so that the entire video plays and then switches to the desired scene after that. Or let's say, for example, your video is 5 minutes long, but you only want to show the first 2 minutes of it. You can put that video on the scene, and then you can put a 2 minute timer in the background and tie the action to that timer so that once that timer has elapsed, it switches to the next scene. So, these are a couple of ways that you can kind of automate things that's going on in your Evmux production. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to get back with you, and either discuss it with you or make another video to further explain. We are available for one-on-one training. So if that is your desire, just let me know, or meet us over on the Tech Lab Studio site, and we can set up our training. But for today, thank you very much for your time.